Ooh, wee. Almost to the weekend.
I said Nova yesterday. I said they needed one.
They had to have it, man. Shout out to
Desperate,
Net.
desperate teams, man. Desperate teams can do good things.
How about Neptune hanging on to his job by a thread?
Yeah. If
His players said, "We're not going yet."
nope. Now I'll talk about it. What they need. They're they're not in yet. They're not on the. They're probably not even on the bubble yet. They're on the next bubble. They're probably in the next four out group with that win.
Yeah.
Uh, but they have a path to an at large now. Where if they lost, specifically if they lost, if they got their ass kicked, they wouldn't have had a path.
All right. We are back. It is College Hoops RX with your boy Sosa Picks, joined by my co-host Spin Doc Sports. It is Thursday, February 13th, one day away from the Lover's Day and that new Drake and Party Next Door album dropping. For all you guys who don't get women, hopefully it helps you in your quest. Spin, how you doing today? How we feeling?
Yeah, doing good, doing good. Free plays went 1-1 yesterday. Southern Illinois got down big early, kind of made a comeback. Actually had a chance to cover to get into cover territory late, couldn't do it. And Bonaventure and Rhode Island was pretty much wire to wire. Both defenses and good defenses and slow paces. Always, always, always equal potential for under. But we were talking before we went on. I said yesterday, Nova, Nova, Nova. I said that Nova is the side if you're going to play that one. And did they put themselves on the bubble with that win? No, they put themselves on the bubble of the bubble. So right now they're probably in the next four out, or maybe even the next tier. But there's a lot of basketball to be played. There's a ton of ball to be played. Looking at the rest of their schedule, what they need, they don't necessarily need to win out, but they can't have any bad losses because they got to go to UConn, which is going to be a tough one. So if they're competitive and drop that one, and win all the rest of the games that they should be fine. But I think between UConn and Marquette, they got to get one of those. If they can get one of those and have no other bad losses, when I say bad losses, I mean to like at home against like Providence or.
Can I bold predict it? Can I hit him with the bold prediction?
Yeah, do it.
Connecticut will be right back in the Final Four, especially if this McNeely kid.
When he comes back.
The way he came back last night, dropped 36, 38, or whatever the fuck he had. Listen, with him and Caravan, if they get going, this UConn team's liable to beat anybody. They're good enough to beat anybody.
They can.
And they got a good coach, great culture. They know how to win. I'm telling you right now, man, I think UConn is gearing up to do the same shit that they've done in the last couple of years, which is figure out a way to get the job done. I think they can figure it out, man. I'm impressed now by what I see from them.
Yep. No. It's not wise to bet against Dan Hurley. It's never wise to bet against him, especially in March. He'll definitely have him ready. And right now they project as an 8 or a 9 seed. And if you're the 1 seed in that bracket, if that is what actually happens, you got to be looking at the selection committee and be like, thanks, assholes. Like, thanks. We get a 16 seed and then we got to play the fucking 2-time national champs that are now at full strength. Thanks. Like, I think by the time the tournament starts, they'll probably be more in the 6 to 7 range. I personally would get them in that territory so that they can get a 3 seed or even like a low 2 seed in the second round. To me, based on their results, if you factor in the injuries and you factor in where they were at before versus where they're at now, that's probably where they belong. But again, a lot of ball to be played. But just real quick for Villanova, I think that they need to beat either Marquette or UConn. At UConn is going to be real hard, so Marquette is the one to probably focus on. And then if they get one well, at least one, possibly two wins in the Big East tournament and get a little bit of help. I mean, I know it sounds like I'm asking for a lot, but when you think about how much ball is left to be played and what team schedules are, they're not in as worse of shape as they were a week ago. So there's a path to an at-large. It'll probably be first four. It'll probably be one of the last 11 seeds. But there's a path. There's a path in now. And so I know we were talking before you went on your free plays. Talk about Arkansas. They saved themselves from the bubble, man. They saved themselves.
We were talking about the SEC, man. Like they threw their hat in there, like, listen, we're not dead yet.
Yep.
Obviously, had they won, they'd have been good, but we bet them to cover 9.5, and they were down at halftime, and everybody was ready to throw in the towel. It's one of the simple situations of, I'm not going to lie, I thought they had us in the first half.
Yep.
But resilient group, figured out a way down the stretch, took control of the game late, and just really we just figured it out at the end, and we were able to cover the 9.5, end up winning by double digits. So, yeah, again, a good play, but, you know, you can call it luck, you can call it whatever it is. Sometimes it's very important to be lucky, and I'll take it. I'll take it every time.
Win's a win, right? A win's a win.
Yes, sir. And with that being said, we'll get straight into the first game of the day. It's going to be Hofstra taking on William and Mary. William and Mary laying 1.5 with a total of 146.5. Obviously, this is old America East teams, right?
One of them is.
Right. Hofstra was America East. Where was William and Mary? They were Patriot League. This is the Patriot League?
No, this is the Coastal now. It's the
Coastal
used
to be the Patriot.
Small Eastern conferences. Yeah.
So who are we betting on, and why are we betting on them in this matchup?
Yep. So William and Mary smacked Hofstra when they were out in Hempstead. And so beat them by 18. And normally I would think, you'd kind of look at, and I've talked about it on here before, the revenge angle and kind of getting back and et cetera. The problem is that these two teams are kind of racing to the bottom of the conference. So both teams have, William Mary has lost 3 of their last 4. Hofstra has lost 4 of their last 5. And neither team is playing particularly well at the moment. So when you get that in place and you get a matchup like this, which I'll go over in a second, William and Mary has some several distinct advantages, especially on their home floor. On the short number, even though it's a revenge game, I got to go with the home team here, and I got to take the Tribe, which, by the way, the teams in this game, it's the Tribe versus the Pride. So one of the cooler nickname games of the night. But I have to take the Tribe, which is William and Mary at -1.5. William and Mary on their home floor. They are coached by Brian Earl, who used to coach Cornell basketball. And if you remember anything about how Cornell how they play now too, is very up-tempo, very fast-paced, a lot of possessions, a lot of threes. You can see here is not only are they 29th in percentage of points from three-pointers, they're also 3rd in the total percentage of those shots that are threes. Those numbers, when you switch to conference play, are 1st in both. Now, their three-point shooting has been up and down lately. This 32.8% is what they've shot in conference play, and it's been more confined to their last 3 games. However, their last 3 games have been against Charleston, at Drexel, and both of those teams have very, very good three-point defenses. And even before that, they played Campbell, who also has a good three-point defense. Delaware's not so much, but like I said, they've played 3 out of their last 4 games against teams with excellent three-point defense. As you can see, Hofstra does not have that, allowing 34.9%, which is 11th overall in the conference. It's sub 235 in the country. Where Hofstra makes its hay defensively is with inside the arc, the 2-point range. You can see they're first in the conference in overall 2-point defense, but that's not who William and Mary is, and that's not how William and Mary beat them last time. So at home, William and Mary does shoot a very, very solid 34.4% from deep. As you can see here, they have multiple kids with Collier, Chase Lowe, and Gabe Dorsey, 37.6% or better. And when they're at home, they're just a different animal. The problem that Hofstra has had all year, and as you can see, it certainly has projected into conference because they're almost sub 300 in offensive efficiency. It hasn't gotten better. They're 13th, almost last in the Coastal in offensive efficiency. They also don't get to the free throw line. This is a team that doesn't look to score a whole lot inside, because while they have decent overall, like top to bottom guards and wing size, they don't have a lot of size down low, where William and Mary here does. And they have basically, it's just a bunch of guys that are 6'5" to 6'8". So William and Mary has a lot of advantages at home. Both of these teams need a win to maintain their standing in the conference tournament. And so I'm going to give William and Mary a little bit more forgiveness for their slide recently because of their opponents I mentioned, whereas on the other side, Hofstra has lost 3 in a row, but that's been at Campbell, who is bottom middle of the pack, Northeastern, and Stony Brook, who's one of the worst teams in the Coastal. So you give me all that, and you give me a very, very short spread on a home team. I will go William and Mary, the Tribe, -1.5. You can take -2 if that's what's available. If you want a little bit less risk because of the short spread, you can take the money line. I'm never a fan of putting more juice at risk to protect yourself against one outcome, because that's all you're doing. If you take the money line instead of -1.5, all you're doing is you're protecting yourself literally against William and Mary winning the game by 1, with so many potential possessions, with so much offense, with so many things that can happen in a college basketball game. To protect yourself against one outcome, to me, just it doesn't strike me as the most value use of your money. So I would go spread. If you're scared, before you go to church, bet the money line, or maybe go to church first and then figure out if you want to take the spread. So William and Mary -1.5.
Right. You already know. Next game we're going to get into, Maryland at Nebraska. This Nebraska team probably playing their best ball right now this time of year. Not really expect it. And then you have the Maryland Terrapins, who I think are a team that are good enough to beat anybody on any given night. The game's a pick 'em right now. It's my -1.5 point spread for Nebraska. I'm going with the road dog tonight, the small road dog. I'm rocking with Maryland tonight on the money line. You can get them at close to even. Use the book that you want, whether it's +100 or -105. They got the best player on the floor. And I just believe in them going into into Nebraska and pulling out a victory. I really do believe that they're the better team. I like the coach. Like I said, they have the best player on the floor. Ultimately, that to me matters more, especially in a game where it's close. I think they'll be able to manipulate the game. I think they'll be able to shoot enough free throws and get to the line enough times to where Nebraska loses the game. Now, don't get it fucked up. Nebraska has a couple of good wins on the resume. They're not some pushover. Maryland historically hasn't been great on the road, so it is a bit of a contrarian spot here. Maryland has not had great success traveling to the Midwest or really to anywhere really past, like, I don't know, Indiana. And it's documented, but again, at some point, the level of water has to the water has to find its level.
Yep.
And my personal belief is I think that Maryland goes into Lincoln tonight and walks out the victors. It's going to be a hostile territory, and you're going to be able to tell a lot about this basketball team after tonight. They either win it outright or they get their cheeks clapped. It's one or the other.
Yeah, I watched the entire first game that these two played in Maryland, and Maryland won by 3, but Maryland did a lot of things that game. I thought pretty well. What was weird was in that game in particular, Andrew Morgan for Nebraska. He's a senior. He's a big kid, and he's a Minnesota boy. Just kind of a big farm kid. Only averages 8 points per game, 4 rebounds. Just kind of a role player. Just absolutely exploded. 7 for 12, had 17 points, and really was making some really, really tough shots because Maryland was so keyed in on Bryce Williams. And so so not only did you have that, but you also had a few of the Nebraska starters get in foul trouble early. So one thing that I'd be looking for in this game too, because I'm with you that Maryland is the better team, is that Jacoby Gillespie was absolutely throwing flames that game. 5 for 9 from deep, but not only was he like 5 for 9, I mean, 3 of those 5 were like way out there, like deep. Maryland did have a couple of their other starters, like Derek Queen did not have a good game at all. Julian Reese didn't have that good of a game, and they've been back on track lately. So, it was just kind of a wonky game for Maryland. I think that they had to readjust a lot of things on the fly because, like I said, Andrew Morgan, 17 points for a kid that averages under 8. And that actually was his season high. And I think it might have been his career high in college. If not, it was pretty close, especially since he's moved up to the Big Ten. So, you got to ask yourself, is that going to happen again? No, probably not. Especially when after that game, he has not scored more than 9 points in a single game. So yeah, I can't argue with it with the Terps.
This is also exact same parameters as taking who we take the other night. It's the exact same parameters, just they're on the road in regards to Kansas State. I think everybody has this expectation that Nebraska is just going to handle business at home, and then we get something completely different.
Yep.
So, next game is going to be Memphis at South Florida. I am on one play in this game. Let me pull up the ticket really quick. And in this one, listen, this Memphis team, when they travel, when they go on the road, they play up and down the competition. Sometimes they're just fucking awful. In this one, the spread for the game is 9.5. I like 7.5. I'm sorry. I like South Florida first half plus 4.5. I think that South Florida will compete for the entire duration of the first half. I think they will make it a grinded out game. And I think that in the second half, Memphis, being the more talented team, should figure out a way to win the game. But I do believe that the play is going to be South Florida first half. I like South Florida at the crib. So,
all right.
4.5 first half, official play. Any thoughts on that one? Or am I all alone? Am I on?
No. I was actually looking at possibility of South Florida in some fashion here. You have a South Florida team that, not that South Florida is going to make any realistic. They're 12-12, so they're not going to make any realistic run in any tournament. But with how their defense plays, they can definitely get a team kind of tough in the first half. So, haven't really dug into that game a whole lot yet. But when I first looked at it, just kind of on the surface, South Florida was the lean that I was looking at.
Yes, sir. And I know, obviously, tonight it is a full schedule, but not a lot of top 25 matchups. Our next game we're going to get into is going to be Long Beach State headed to Hawaii. Pulling up on the beach. You got Hawaii laying 10.5. Obviously, like the wildest travel spot in all of college basketball. Midnight start, over under of 137.5. We're taking Long Beach with the points, right? Just kidding. I'm gonna let you tell us why we're betting on who.
Man, it's funny. The two teams The two teams that I watch the most are playing tonight. One, because it's my squad, and two, because and the second team is because it's always some late night degeneracy happening on the island out at the Stan Sheriff Center. I've actually watched Hawaii so many times this year that I know their intro video by heart, because they always have the local sports network on there, and they always fix the camera on it and play it. It's actually really cool. So if you happen to be up, try to get it before the game, because they do a really nice mixture of these like luau dancers with guys like breathing and throwing fire around the kids, and like as the kids are shooting, the island guys are throwing like fire back and forth, and that's like a fire shot. It's a really well done intro video. So, but like I said, I mean, just imagining it in my head right now, because I've watched the thing so many times. But I've watched this Hawaii team probably 12 times this year. And you know, I can tell you exactly what their game is about. Their guards are not the strongest in the world. Their shooting is okay from outside. What they have is they bruise you. They bruise you and they bruise you up, because they have Tanner Christensen, Akira Jacobs, and I don't even remember how to say his name, but Nimieska, I think, but really Tanner Christensen, 6'10", thick kid, actually reasonably athletic, but just a big brute. And the way that head coach Aaron Gano likes to play slow, methodical, and just bury guys by just going at the rim, at the rim, at the rim. So you can see by here, second in the conference overall in 2-point field goal percentage at 53.3. And that actually translates, because they're top 65 in the country in the same thing. Now, when you look at Hawaii's schedule, you can see they've lost 5 of their last 6. So you might think, well, how are they going to win this game by 10 points or by 11 points? Well, when you look at their games, I always compare home road for Hawaii, because not only is it a long travel spot for teams going in, it's a long and brutal travel schedule for them continually going out. And the 4 of those losses have been on the road. 3 of them have been to top tier teams within the conference on the road. The one home loss they had was to UC San Diego, who is actually making a bid to be an at-large NCAA tournament team. They're actually right now the second team in the next 4 out, and they are that good. They actually just beat the hell out of Irvine at Irvine, and those 2 are tied atop the conference. So they get a little bit of a break tonight, because they get Long Beach State, and if you don't know what Long Beach State's nickname is, it's pretty simple. It's the beach. That's literally their nickname, is the beach. So Long Beach State, the one thing that Long Beach State does have is overall here, 221st in free throws attempted over field goals attempted. You see this, what Hawaii's offense is predicated on. The Warriors, Rainbow Warriors, are 5th in the conference, 22.6% of their points coming from the free throw line. They have guys that can make free throws. They have guys that can get to the free throw line. Also, I've talked about it on here before when we're betting on the island, is there's only a set like group of far West Coast refs that kind of rotate back and forth to the island to officiate games. You don't get national crews for this. You get a very limited regional crew, and you get guys that have reffed them a number of times. And it just watching the game, they do get some island love. They do get some island love for the refs, from the refs, because it's the same guys that have been there over and over and over again. And so offensively, I'm not worried about Hawaii. I go and I look at Long Beach, and overall offensive efficiency is okay. They do have guys that can shoot the 3 pretty well. 63rd in the country, 3rd nationally, but on the road, it's been a much different story. And so when you're doing that, and you are going from 2 straight home games to then having to travel all the way out, it can affect your shooting, and to the point where Long Beach State, not only is their 3-point offense kind of struggle on the road. Their 3-point defense really does. Last three, they've allowed 44.4%, which would be dead last in college basketball. They've also allowed over 38% on the road, which would also be sub 340. And them shooting on the road goes down from 36.4% or 38.3, I'm sorry, to 35.2. So this is a Hawaii team that controls and dictates the pace at home. They have a lot of size advantage down low. They pound the ball and they get to the free throw line. You do that and you control the tempo of the game. So even at double digits, even though, I kind of talked about Hawaii's struggles recently, some of it you can, I don't want to say forgive, but you can understand a little bit because of where and who they are playing. Long Beach State has actually lost 7 games in a row. Home, road, they've lost against the bottom of the conference, the top of the conference. Cal Fullerton, who's 6-19, beat them at home by 16.
Baseball school.
Yep. Yes, they are. UC Davis, who is middle of the pack, beat them. I can just go on and on and on, but they're struggling right now. So they're struggling. They get a long road trip against a team they don't match up well with. So I'm taking the home team. I'm taking the Island Boys, Hawaii, minus 10.5.
Island Boys.
Before we go to the last one, I saw there's a few comments. Luke Murphy, thank you as always for tuning in, my guy. Lean under on the Hawaii game. I totally agree with you there. I'm actually looking at a potential VIP total play for that game, and yeah, it would not be on the over.
Luke, you got any new books coming out?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you got anything new coming out? Anything new that you're dropping? We'll just wait for him to reply.
Yeah. Does North Florida play today? If they do, yeah.
That's Mike. That's Mike Jones.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Does North Florida play today?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. He loves them as far as their offense. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
11 straight in a cover. They've gone over in 10 straight. That's fire.
Yep. Well, that's what happens when you shoot 4,000 threes a game and you make them at 40%. Oh,
Bryant minus 16.5 should be sweat free. What? Towson, huh? You got any thoughts on that one?
We'll get to that in just a minute. We're releasing one late this year, 2025. If you don't follow Luke Murphy, follow him, man. It's got author Luke Murphy, man. New
Check
books
him out.
coming out.
He's always supported everything that we've done.
Yes, big supporter. We appreciate you.
Always supported the work. So shout out to him.
But yeah, going back to Mike, Towson at minus 7.5. Well, as it would happen, because I love y'all so much, I got a bonus play for you, and I got my gear. It's my Tigers gear. So Delaware at Towson. This game kicks off at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Towson is at minus 7.5. I am 1,000% with Mike on this one. Delaware is really, really in a slide right now, to the point where they've lost 5 of their last 6. The big thing that is hurting Delaware here has been that their shooting has been failing them. So what they did last year, what Inglesby, their coach, did last year is they've always been playing at kind of a slow, methodical pace. He went out and he got offense, and he got 4 guys from D2 that shot 38% or better from 3. And that was working for a while. The problem is after now the teams have learned their sets, and just from me just watching their games, is that they're D2 players, and they're D2 players. Sometimes D2 players are D2 players for a reason. And so you watch their sets, you figure them out, you get some film, and now their 3-point percentage, where they're shooting 37.5% for the year. Last 3 games, 33.3. Last game, they only shot 31%. And that is not where you want to be against a Towson team that, yes, I have a little bit of homerdom, a little bit of fandom in me for this one, but they are just absolutely rolling. I've talked about it on here before about, early in the year when we started the season 4-8, it was because we had 3 of our 5 starters out and 2 of our top bench guys were out. That team was just decimated by injuries. This is the Towson team, the only team in the Coastal to bring back all 5 starters from last year and had 8 returning players, and like half of them were hurt. And so we struggled for the first part of the year. Since then, though, it's been really, really fun to watch. 9 wins in a row, 11 of the last 12, with the only loss being at Charleston. And right now we're sitting 11-1 atop the conference and just absolutely rolling. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's starting to roll. And the big thing that has been in place for us is the offense has been coming around, because this team has always been built on defense. We're a slower team. We're a slower paced team. We have guys that can score, but winning games in the 80s and 90s is not really our forte. But what Towson's been doing is defending the 3 exceptionally. Last 3 allowing 27% from deep. So not even allowing teams to make more than 7 threes per game. So I 100% agree with Mike. No, man, you don't ever have to apologize, Mike. Hey, anytime anybody wants to be on my Tigers, I am all for it. So I actually have a different play for this one. Mike Jones knows. Yes, he does. So I have a different play for this one. Minus Towson in the first half, minus 4.5. So I think the first half and the full game, this is a potential double up spot on Towson because of everything I just mentioned. Delaware has had some really, really ugly first halves. Over the last 4 or 5 games, they're shooting at under 45% in the first half, and it's a Towson team that's really found their way on the offensive end, especially Tyler Tejada. Tyler Tejada is our leading scorer, was actually out for almost a month earlier in the year, but he's really found his stroke, shooting almost 60% over his last 5 games, better at home. So there's just a lot. You got a lot of guys that are back in the fold, experienced team against a team that's sliding. So all things Towson tonight. I'm really looking forward to this game. Mike saying we got to start talking Robert Moore. Hey, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. This was a team where like they really struggled when they first moved to the Horizon from the Northeastern. But I think, Mike, what is it? I think they've won like 10 out of 11 or something. Like, yeah, their only loss was to Wright State. What was that Wright State? Otherwise, they're just beating the hell out of teams. I think that they're either second or third in the Horizon right now. This could be a team that actually makes a tournament run. They are on fire right now. So definitely a team to look for, to back here as you head into conference tournament play. Their next game is Saturday against Fort Wayne at home. But Robert Morris, they did a really nice job rebuilding that program after they moved out of the Northeastern Conference, and they've actually done a really good job using the transfer portal to build up a team that was kind of middle of the pack to the bottom of the pack in a small, tiny kind. That's one of the, in the what I call the play-in conference, because that's normally who gets the play-in game in the first 4, to a team that legitimately could be a team that could win an NCAA tournament game if they get in. A lot of athletes, and DJ Smith, baby, DJ Smith. For those that don't know, DJ Smith for Robert Morris, and Mike, where is DJ Smith from? Mike knows.
Is he a Minnesota kid?
No. Mike, ask Mike where he's from.
He's from Arkansas.
He's from North Little Rock. Damn right he is.
Okay.
DJ
So
Smith.
So I already know Mike is really like backing him 100%. But yeah, again, this is another informative show. Hey, yo, did not know that. Did not know
Yeah.
that. It's interesting news right there, brother. But just a general, again, appreciate the people that have tuned in. Make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys share it on Twitter and all the other platforms that you guys use for social media. We will be back on Saturday morning with another episode. And we will have baseball stuff on the timeline coming in the next couple of days. We're almost 40 days out. We're just about 40 days out from opening day.
40 days on Saturday.
We know everybody wants futures. Y'all want to talk baseball. Football season ended. Y'all want to get straight into it. Y'all, you know what I mean? The streets got to be fed. We got it. So we're going to make sure that we have tons of baseball stuff coming soon. Some more hockey. You're going to have stuff from Spin Doctor. We're going to have some stuff from Adam's Digest. Me and Prop also will be getting into some stuff for baseball. But just remember, right around the corner for MLB, make sure you're locked in. Spin, anything before we get up out of here? We'll give you the last word.
No, just best of luck to everybody. Like Sosa said, not a lot of top 25 versus top 25 teams tonight. But as we head into the tournament, right, as we head into the tournament, there's a lot of good mid-major teams that are playing tonight. And I've always found that watching them around this time of the year, even if it's a team that you don't follow very close, can pay off in conference tournament time and can pay off if that team happens to make the NCAA tournament by watching them, doing a little observation. So these are actually some of my favorite nights. I love watching top 25 basketball because it's good basketball, but I love watching one good mid-major team against another. And we got a couple of those matchups tonight. So best of luck if tailing, and we will see you on Saturday. We're out.
Hey!